Welcome back, everybody. What the hell do I know with JB? We get to sit down with a man who's walked through addiction, found freedom, and now helps others on their own recovery journey. From hitting rock bottom to becoming a sponsor to finding faith in sobriety, David shares raw and powerful lessons that will encourage anyone facing their own struggle. Plus, we dive into his podcast, Shoot Me Straight, and how he impacts lives through that on a weekly basis. So let's give a warm Jabroni welcome to my friend, David Fields.
All right.
What the hell do I know? I'm just JB, middle-aged dad with ADD. Candid combos, jokes so lame, Jabronis pulling a poker face. Just a couple of dudes with ADD. What the hell do I know? With JB.
Come on, baby. We here.
Sold to it today.
We here. How you like that, David Fields? That's it.
That's the first time I've heard that.
That's
Come on,
coming
man.
in hot.
Oh, you got to watch the show, bro. You got to watch the show. We're episode 60 here, baby.
6-0. Who would have thunk it?
We are
6-0.
I actually
Come
thought
on.
nobody would listen, so I'm super. By the way, I'm super excited that you do listen, and while I've got you, please like, subscribe, and share all this content for all them people out there.
All of them.
So thank you so much. But yeah, David, man, I just want to dive a little bit into your story. I'm so thankful to have you on. We got a chance to. I got to know you a little bit and had a great conversation on your show, Shoot Me Straight, and so I'm so thankful that you agreed to come on to our little old $10 podcast here and hang out with us.
More than $10.
11.50. Well, maybe 11.50 about right now.
Hey, we got the right cameras, but it's the content that's $10.
Correct. Well, today we're 15 with David. So
That's exactly
man,
right.
he
We're a
elevated
$15
us.
podcast.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
I do want to ask you though. Everybody kind of has that rock bottom moment, and you've got a story to tell. I mean, everyone's different. When did you know something had to change? I mean, because you got a story. So what was it that told you that?
Yeah. Well, I think I knew something needed to change long before I got sober.
Right.
And I think most people do.
Yeah.
And whether it's, like me, drug and alcohol addiction, but with other people with whatever their bents are.
Mm-hmm.
I think they know for a long time, hey, something needs to change. I mean, they're in that insanity cycle for a while. When I think of rock bottom, I tend to think of being in a place where you're going, I'm trying to quit whatever it is, and I can't, and I keep going back to it. I'm betraying myself that I say I'm done. This is it. I'm never going to do this again. And then,
Well, isn't that the cycle, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of like you do it, then you feel guilty, then you repent, say I'm never going to do it again, and you get far enough away from it, you do it again, right?
And after a while, you stop feeling guilty and you stop trying.
Right? You just cycle through quicker and quicker.
Know, hey, this isn't going to work. I've done this over and over again, and I can't quit.
When did like drugs and alcohol? I mean, I have a good friend of mine, shout out Jason Fowler, who's probably 13, maybe heck, he might be 15 years sober, 16 years sober now, but he went through a trial, and he remembered like starting drinking in like high school, even middle school to a degree, and he felt like he was invincible. Like when he drank, he would then get on a skateboard or a bike and do the trick that nobody was, or he's funnier around his friends, or he's felt more invincible. Did you feel that way? I mean, where did you feel things started kind of peering up for you in your life like that?
For sure. I mean, my first time I got drunk was 10 years old.
Wow.
And immediately, my story is compact.
Really?
The time I was 18, I'd been through 4 different rehabs. I've been arrested.
Come on.
15-something times.
Wow.
I got after it.
I didn't realize that. You didn't go low.
No.
There's one speed there.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just do it all.
Yeah.
Did you grow
Honestly,
up at a liquor store?
I still
where
have
did you
that.
grow up?
Like, where'd you get alcohol at 10?
Yeah.
So I grew up in West Texas. You ever see Friday Night Lights?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So same town, Odessa, Texas.
No.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Now we've got, who's the guy that has the show now that's doing that West Texas? It's the Landman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Bob.
Oh, that's
Billy
on
Bob
oil.
Thornton.
That's
Is that
an
that-
oil one, right?
Is that Odessa too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
That's
There's
that
not a whole lot
area?
to do out
Yeah.
there. Yeah, it sounds like.
yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Bunch of oil workers, roughnecks.
Yeah.
And so you grow up, it's pretty tough, tough upbringing. And of course, I mean, most people that grew up in the 80s, 90s, you just get out the house, come back.
Yeah.
When the
later.
streetlights come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the very first part of my life, I was adopted. I was in.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I've never met my mom or my dad. I know who they are.
Did you track them down?
Yeah, later on in life.
Yeah.
But I got adopted into a family. My dad was older. My dad's passed away for 14 years, but he was everyone's grandparents' age.
Okay.
So, I mean, even from earliest memories I have, I felt out of place. I felt different. I felt, there was a sense of, I think addiction has a lot to do with, vacillating between fear and shame. And so there was a lot of shame going on. But as you grow up, that's just your normal.
Yeah.
So you don't know.
You didn't know anything different.
And so,
But you knew you were different because you had parents that were older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dad's maybe not throwing the same ball with you, tuckering out faster. I don't know, right?
He tried, but
Yeah.
not near as much. And good parents. There was some, good parents. And
Yeah.
good, decent upbringing. There was some abuse, but not
Faith,
not too
was
crazy.
faith in there? The
Yeah,
church?
there
I mean,
was.
West Texas probably like Baptist, right?
I grew up Assembly of God.
Oh, snakes.
Assembly guy.
Snakes? No snakes?
Come on, there's not
That's-
snakes in
that's a great
Assembly
There's
of
got to
God.
be snakes. It's Pentecostal. There's got to be some Assemblies
You're
of God.
so
that's
crazy with the snake
I will
thing.
find an Assemblies of God with
There
snakes.
is
I'm telling you,
no
I'll find one.
AOG with snakes.
Well, it's like kind of borderline Pentecostal, right? So
Okay.
Yeah.
It's but I mean, for sure, everything.
Yeah, tongues for
super
sure.
over spiritualized. It was pretty toxic.
Yeah,
A lot of
really?
ways.
Yeah.
and they get away a lot away from actual scripture and just focus on feelings and emotions and experiences.
Your actions.
Yeah. Well,
At least your public actions.
that's right.
So the private actions are different. Public
right.
actions. A lot of that stuff you find, and it can be really toxic, is when it's like, I want you to behave well.
Yeah.
But that, if you can get away with it,
Yeah.
Who does that
nobody
say?
else knows.
What does that do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got when I had that feeling all growing up, always feeling different apart from, which today I'm somewhat grateful for. But when I first drank at 10 years old, and before that I was stealing. I was going to, you remember Hastings?
Hastings.
Yeah.
It's like a grocery
Like
store.
right?
It's
I don't
kinda like
know.
a Barnes and Noble.
Oh,
more like.
Okay. Yeah.
But they had porn. So I would go and I'd steal porn from Hastings and sell it to the Christian kids at
Oh my!
How much did you
My-
get for
my
it? What was your first? What do you remember? How much you charged?
I feel like that's good
don't-
money right there, though.
I know. I feel like that's better than a 50 cent.
It sounded like you're probably
I feel like you're
reselling.
getting
You found a
some
business
greenback.
model.
Yeah.
You found a
business
my
model.
first entrepreneurial
Yeah.
endeavor. And I mean, I found a market for it.
Yeah,
Sure, you did.
Yeah,
you found the
did.
markup, found the margins.
And demand. So
By the way, it could have probably been non-Christian folks too. Any kid
Yeah,
going through
right.
puberty, right?
yeah.
I thought me stealing cigarettes and selling was bad, but
But the Christian ones wouldn't tell on you though, right? They didn't want to get caught either. I don't know.
if they got caught, they'd probably snitch real quick.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't remember then.
Yeah.
I remember then. I ran around with.
Did you have
Do you
older
think-
influences? I mean, at 10.
No, I was kind of the leader.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go. We're gonna go in here and.
We're gonna do it.
And you know what? That's not. They have alcohol in there too. So.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
I started
yeah.
stealing
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Before I even drank, I was already stealing and selling alcohol.
I got
and
you.
then, And then also, cartons of cigarettes at Albertsons. And stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
where Albertsons is where I was working
Yeah.
and stealing mine
Yeah.
from.
Right.
They had this
Right.
back room that you could go
Yeah.
into, and they had cartons and
Yeah.
everything.
Hey
Just
kids,
Right.
anybody
loaded
thinking
up.
about shoplifting? There's a lot more cameras now than
Yeah.
when we grew
Oh, yeah.
up.
Don't
you're gonna,
do
you're
it.
gonna get caught,
Don't
so
They
don't
had
do
the
it.
camera bulbs in there, but
You're gonna be on
But the
YouTube.
manager would be like, "There's no cameras in those." They're
Oh
full
wow, they were
I was like,
fake.
"That was the that was the
That
worst
was like-
mistake you told me." Dude.
He didn't want to. He should have told you
Oh,
that.
man, now it's on.
That's a weird thing. So do you think though too that maybe it helped you having all of this stuff at a younger age in the sense that you had all these arrests, but you were probably minored, right? So they didn't show up on
Correct.
your record,
Correct. My record's clean.
right? That's what I was going to say.
I mean,
It probably
a lot
helped
of
that you did a
driving
lot
tickets, but
Yeah, I mean, if you can do it under 17, you're
Again, kids.
don't do it. Yeah. Again,
Yeah. We got to get to the next part of the story.
we do need to get to the next part.
Let's get past
Hey,
18.
we're gonna get to the next part of the story, but real quick though, I do want to thank everybody for being here at the Floors.com studio.
that's great.
We got
Sponsor.
perfect
Yeah.
timing for
Yeah.
Floors.com studio. FLOOR.
Double Z.
Double ZZ, baby. Floors.com. They're your one-stop shop for all your flooring and remodeling and new builds. So definitely check them out. They just had a big warehouse sale.
Yeah, yesterday.
Smoked stuff out of here. It was so good. But Floors.com, they'll ship anywhere you want floors. Maybe to Cambodia. We don't know if you're listening.
Man, I don't know. Guam.
But we'll see.
maybe.
We'll see if they'll get there. But yeah, so we're going to dive in the second part now, and let's get back to the show. But it's now time to play What the Hell Do I Know with David Fields.
I do.
So 7 questions, rapid succession. We're going to put a clock on. You can pass if you need to pass. No gotcha questions.
Okay.
Here we go. Question number 1, morning person, or are you a snooze button warrior?
By default, yes.
Oh, a snooze button, you think?
I
Or
try, but I
you do it? All
force
right.
myself
all right.
up.
All right. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
All right, perfect. Favorite comfort food?
Ooh. Ice cream, I guess.
All right, good.
right.
First job you ever had? I mean, besides stealing porn.
Yeah, that really
Second
was the
job.
first.
It's a legit job.
What's that?
Construction.
Construction. All right. Concert or sporting event? Which do you pick?
Sporting event.
Perfect. One movie you can watch over and over.
The Matrix.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Are we in it? If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
Abraham Lincoln.
Come on, you were off the hot seat. Way to
All
go!
right, nice,
That's
nice.
an applause. Great job, man.
Nice job
Great
on Abe.
job.
That's a good one.
Yeah, people need
That's a good one.
need to know a little bit more about David Fields besides all this crazy stories.
You didn't know he's into Abe Lincoln.
In Abe Lincoln. I mean, you've definitely come. I mean, you've gone from that time. When was it? So you went through rehabs early on, whether your parents were putting those in there. I mean, when was like the moment? I mean, that you finally gave up the ghost? Were you married? Were you early before marriage? I mean, before kids? When was it that like, okay, that's it?
Well, I'll fast forward what happened. So when I drank first time at 10, it was like you said, with a lot of addicts, alcoholics. I mean, when I had that feeling, I can take you back to the exact place that I turned the corner. It was at a football game in West Texas. There's no question of what you do on a Friday night.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You go to the high school football game.
Right.
And so the whole town's there, and I remember drinking, and I had only had sips of beer before, and this girl gave me this, clear liquid. I didn't even know anything about alcohol, really, and I just started drinking it like it was beer, and I remember thinking, man, this thing sure does burn
Yeah.
a lot as it's going down.
Was it Everclear?
It was vodka.
Oh yeah.
And so I drank, half liter of vodka, and then
Holy crap.
turning the corner from this alleyway.
Golly.
And I remember the effect hit me, and when it hit me, it was like magic. It cured all those things that have been going on internally.
You had confidence.
Had confidence.
Yeah.
I felt incredible.
Yeah.
And I said that night, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And
You remember saying that?
I did.
Wow.
Well, and I quoted it to a friend who he still remember it too. But the next morning I woke up and immediately went to a 7-Eleven and did a beer run. And then started drinking. And I mean, pretty much from then on, then there's a lot of drugs and stuff and a lot of arrests, kicked out of lots of schools. Didn't really think I was going to make it through high school.
Really?
I didn't see myself getting a high school diploma. If you ask me, hey, what does it look like when you're 20 or something like that? It's just dark. It's just black. I don't know.
You didn't really have that. You weren't thinking future. You were thinking every day.
I had no ambitions or future. I didn't see myself really living. And then I, towards the end of that, out of my third rehab, I'd go to rehab, relapse, go through a spree, get arrested, end up going back to another rehab. And then towards the end, I approached a judge during one of my hearings and told him to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Yeah.
advice.
Probably. I imagine. I mean, imagine you took it well.
Yeah, I wasn't tough by any. I was lost.
Yeah.
I was lost.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
That's a great word.
I wouldn't even say I was scared. I didn't know anything besides fear.
Just not a direction.
I ran on fear and shame, and so I
Ooh,
was just
that's
lost.
big. So that was kind of your currency, fear and shame. Alcohol conquered at the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And so from that, he said, I don't remember exactly what he said, but basically I was, possibly going to go to jail.
Right.
He said, we're going to wait till you're 17 and you're going to get, you're going to go to big boy jail. Was probably looking, I don't know, a year and a half or so. And went into a repeat offender program. And in that program, I was kicking out windows, spitting at people, trying to start fights with everyone.
Really?
And in that program, literally doing everything I could to run away from God. And in that program, he just grabbed a hold of me. My story is not one of me making any sort of decision to come and know God. And it wasn't this agreement. It was he showed up. And I remember that day, it was on a Sunday. I remember just over and over going, holy crap, he's actually real.
You just
actually real.
That's like a Paul experience, right?
Before that, I would have said, yeah, I'm a Christian, but I don't want to talk about it.
But you had a Paul experience. It's like,
but I don't think I was. Honestly, I don't think I was. I think a lot of people, like I knew scriptures. I knew around church. I'd say, yeah, I believe in heaven. I believe in, but I never knew him.
You didn't know. You didn't have a relationship.
Yeah, there's passages like we'll make our home in you. That hadn't happened to me. It was not personal. And that day, I just over and over, I can't believe it. He's actually real. Like actually real.
What was that like though? Because you're saying you had a moment that you felt the presence of God, and that it was so much that you were like, He's real. But what does that? Can you describe it? Are you in this facility?
Yeah.
Were you by yourself? Did you hear an audible voice? Did you get like these chills going down your spine? What was that?
So so you're in this facility and you can't leave anywhere, right? You every minute's accounted for, unless it's on a Sunday and they'll take you to a church. The last place I wanted to go, and I'm like, I'm good. And they said, well, the pastor has these 2 hot twin daughters.
Oh my God!
And so I said, all right.
Well,
they're peddling the pastor's 2 hot twin daughters.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll show up.
Yeah. So it's not like you can talk to anyone anyway.
Sure.
So I'm like, we go, and you have to sit on, of a like kind of stadium seating. You have to sit in the very back, away from everyone else, just so that you can't, cause any trouble or get paraphernalia or whatever.
Oh wow!
And so, I was in there with some rowdy guys, and so.
Do they have are you behind glass?
Yeah,
what is this church?
This.
I'm trying to think about this church, like this chapel that is on stadium seating, away from everybody else. Are you in like an orange jumpsuit in this place, or were you like a polo shirt on or t-shirt or something like
white shirts,
white shirts, jeans sort of thing?
Yeah,
and they've got you inside the chapel.
Yeah, and they have like guards on both sides, and they put us in the back. Well,
so everybody knows. This is like really a service that this church is providing too, to allow you to outreach to come in. Yeah, okay.
Well, the whole sermon, I'm like, this is. I just think in my head, I'm having these thoughts in my head. I'm like, this is exactly why I don't, I hate these places, and this guy is probably, I'm just judging the pastor the whole time in my head and all this. But we're separated from everyone. Well, as we're leaving. A man, possibly an angel, I don't, like a guy grabs me from the back of my shirt and says, David Fields. And turn around and look at him. I'm like, do I know you? He says, God wants me to tell you something. And he begins to tell me, exact thoughts to this, specific thoughts I was having during the service.
What?
And how he's loved you. He's been, one, the guy couldn't know my name. It's HIPAA laws. But as soon as the guy started talking, it's not even really what he said. And what he said was unbelievable. But it was as soon as he started talking, I knew immediately that it was from God. And it wasn't even about what he said. He wasn't saying, you're going to be this in your future or anything like that. It was going, oh my God, he's actually real. He's actually real. And I got scared, not in a holy awe type of way, Like,
I've messed up some stuff.
He's watching. Will he forgive any of this?
Oh,
like
this is real.
I'm on the wrong side. Like he's actually real, and I'm actively running as far as I can away from him.
And I need to turn and run as far as I can
just
back
beg
to
him,
him and beg.
And I mean, I cried for like 2 months, right? And I would just journal and read the Bible and
Holy
go
smoke.
to every group. And
how old were
listen,
you?
And I was 17.
Okay.
And God used me in that actually to turn around that whole crew. Like,
Come on.
everyone there was like,
Because they're like, this is the guy. This is guy spitting on everybody, kicking in windows, and he's now like
that. Yeah.
gone Jesus.
Yeah, I was like breaking people's stuff, being like, "What are you gonna do?" Trying to start fights, and
Right.
and they were like, "Dude, you're the craziest one in here," and yet, like now you're just talking about God all the time, and like.
Well, they saw a change probably in your personality.
Even in I mean, you only get like an hour worth of free time, right? And I'm like getting guys to go in there and do prayer things with them, and and it was, I'd be up at night and I'd be reading the Bible, and with a little light. You're in these bunk rooms. It's like 4 people to like a third of this space, And I remember one kid being like, "Dude, what is up, dude? Like, what is that?" He's like, and I'm like,
That's
"Dude,
cool.
God's actually real. He's actually real."
By the way, you're one of the 6% of Christians that's read the Bible, so that's good on you.
He was like, and I'm reading Revelation,
Right.
Like, first thing you do is
It's a little confusing.
yeah, not the greatest place to start. Yeah.
But this kid goes, "Man, I got baptized when I was young. I'm good." And I'm like, no, you don't understand. He's actually, and I'm like, hold on. And I flipped to something else like, "If you're lukewarm, he'll spit you out of his mouth." This kid got definitely like scared. It's like completely out of context, but like,
completely
God
right,
used
right,
that
right.
in some way. But like,
sometimes you need that. Like sometimes, I've been around enough addicts. I mean, I've done some addiction work with guys, and there are guys that. And this is one thing I constantly tell people is that if you know Jesus, everybody has a version of their faith, and it's based on how you grew up and how the world's been around you. Everybody has a version of that faith, and Jesus is different, but for everyone. I mean, if you look at his disciples, he had different relationships with his disciples. So why can't I have different relationships with him too? Yeah. And there's addicts that I know that they need a very strict, contextualized Jesus. They need like almost a little bit of fire brimstone. If I get out of line, I'm not going to be able to make it again. And then there's guys that I know that need like a heavy grace Jesus. And need that love and that caring and that compassion, and that's what motivates them in that way. And so it's almost like they have to have a different relationship or they can't get out of it. Did you feel like, because it feels like in that time you had that whole like, I needed Jesus to keep me in line, Jesus, for a second.
I was just consuming.
You're just consuming.
Like, it's hard to describe that time period of my life. It's so, for me, it was, and I know it's not most people's story. Most people is more gradual. Mine was so black than white.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, I mean, food tastes differently. Like everything smelled differently. It was like I had been given different eyes, and things looked different. Everything, it was like I was reborn. That would be the best way to put it.
Man, I had a
reborn.
Well, maybe that's why they use that term.
Yeah,
born again.
Well, I had a youth pastor that used to tell us in youth group all the time. He'd say the best example is this most simplest thing. Shout out Larry Lawrence. Most simplest thing I've ever heard. Never made sense to me at 16, 17. But he said the best example of a changed life's a changed life. Mm-hmm. So there's just no other way about it. And you go, what do you mean, Larry? I don't even get it. But it was like this idea that, I mean, if you want to be changed, be changed. Yeah. Get it and be changed. And it sounds like it hit you so hard, you had no choice but to change.
Well, I just grabbed I was just hungry. Yeah. And so I would read everything. I'd listen in the groups. I would participate. I was I mean, there was even a lot of spiritual stuff happening in that little small rehab in Texarkana, Texas. Which is, if you've never been to Texarkana, be grateful. But it's a town that smells horrible because of a paper mill,
I've been around a paper mill town.
It's split in half by this one road, and half of that road is like racist white people, and the other half is black people, and they all. I mean, it's just I don't see how that town is not.
So it hasn't blown up somewhere.
Yeah, no, but but in this, I mean, just nothing town in the middle of nowhere. Man, God just grabbed hold of me, and to the extent that my sister had come and visited me and said, I mean, it was so evident. She was like, you need to come live with us. And so she lived in Dallas at the time. And so that's how I got out of West Texas and stayed in Dallas. And I just started going to AA meetings. I started doing all the steps.
So you went right into that world.
For sure.
Recovery world.
At 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
17.
great. Wow.
Yeah, 18.
18,
I got
17,
out when I
18.
got
Yeah.
Away from your group, away from your friends.
Dallas.
Kind of getting a new
Correct.
start.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if that had not happened, I would have made new friends. And
Sure.
You still headed in the change world. You just would have found. When you started AA, did you find? And again, I've known people that needed a meeting a day. I've known people that did you find you were going to a lot of meetings early on, or
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, why
was
not?
it 30 and 30 or something like that?
90-90.
90 is 90-90. I knew there's something out there.
I mean,
like
those
that,
those things are isms. It doesn't, it's the difference of, hey, go to church every day versus like digging in the Bible and doing what it says. And so the steps are really what helped me. And when I hit my 9th step, that was amends, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I head back to West Texas. And I start making amends. I show up at 7-Eleven. I'm like, hey, I owe you guys around $30,000. And I'm like,
Come on.
I'll pay you $5 a month for the
Rest of my life.
Did you do that?
30,000.
Oh, I was prepared to do it. I was like, I got the first $50.
Okay.
And every place that I went to Walmart.
Yeah.
And tried to make amends there. Every place I went to go pay them money.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to handle that. They're like, okay, so you stole.
We've kind of written it off already.
They were like, we didn't catch you stealing. I'll have to talk to my manager, and then okay, here's my number.
They don't have a form for that.
Did you ever have
To
like a
return the
follow-up
money.
from any of these managers that because I just feel like if I'm a manager at a Walmart or a 7-Eleven and a kid comes in, I want to, and maybe it's just me, I'm a little more inquisitive, but I want to know how did we get here?
Yeah.
Like what in your life changed for you to come and make amends to the 7-Eleven?
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I'm not sure I've heard of anybody wanting to make amends to a corporation.
Yeah.
I know people wanting to make amends to like the girl I heard or the guy or my parents or whatever, but is that
You got to be willing to do all of them, right?
Okay, all right.
I shouldn't say you got to. You don't have to, but man, you're screwing yourself in that when you have complete freedom of, hey, I did the best that I could to make right all these wrongs I've done in the past. Mm-hmm. There's such a freedom with that. I mean, everything from the ex-girlfriends that said, I want nothing to do with you, never contact me again.
Right.
That was my amends, to leave her completely alone and never,
Yep.
And there's some things that, you've done in the past that will never be.
Right.
You hurt people, right? We're selfish. We're self-centered. The corporations were the easier ones in that sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I had to work out on a ranch for a week for one of them for stealing their cars and knocking down fences.
Oh, wow.
Cattle. I mean,
So that's how you made the amends.
yeah.
Okay.
It's like, we can just come to work for me for a week. We'll be square.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was a great amends, man.
That's great. And that feels like, all right, I'm paying my deal off
100%.
here.
And I had, what's some of the crazy ones? I had a lot of crazy ones. There was a lot of people that it helped them, but one of the craziest ones, a psychologist that I guess gone to during that time. I can't even imagine his stories. I still haven't read his book, but he said, hey, I put all these stories about counseling you in my book that I have out there. I need to read them.
Yeah, what's the name of this book?
I don't know. I'll find it out.
You seem like the kid from Good Will Hunting.
I know, right?
You're smart. You seem like a really smart guy, but like, I just don't give a crap about you or you.
Yeah.
But when you're 17,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the judge was one of the toughest ones. We're making amends to him.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I still had those.
Yeah.
And he turned out to be a recovering alcoholic, and he was like, I can see you changed and all that, and he dropped charges. And
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
But I had to be prepared to.
How long was your journey to make all the amends? I mean, because you worked it a week, you had to go and find people. I mean, it's not like it gets done inside of a month, right? So was it like a 6-month, year-long journey for that step?
Maybe a year. There's some that, there's guys that I got started on drugs that had died, and so those were like letters. And going and visit their gravesite and stuff like that, and you feel really guilty because you were a big part of getting them going on heroin or whatever. But then there's some that I still haven't made to this day because it would be harmful to them. They've married since then, and you don't want to bring
And they moved on.
do something like that. And so unless God put that person in my life and sometimes that happens, that you just randomly run into them and you're like, hey, okay, God, I guess I need to make that amends right now, but I'm not going to seek them out to.
When you're doing the steps
I get that.
and you're in step 9 and it's taking you a year and you have some people that you haven't, do you go to step 10?
Yeah.
So 9's not on hold. It's an active step you're doing.
Correct.
But you would still work on 10 and then 11 and 12. So you could be finished with all your 12 steps and still be working on 9?
For sure.
And then I know people that have gone back through the 12 steps.
Yeah.
Is that how many times have you gone through?
I mean,
12?
technically, if you did them just right, you never have to do a 4-step, or you'd make amends as you go along, but it never hurts, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're gonna screw up. That's part of the steps. Is hey, this isn't a perfect thing. Part of the steps is you screwing up, doing them as you're going along. And then doing those reviews and going back, nightly reviews, morning meditations, where you're going, okay, I really messed up yesterday. I was living in self. I was hurtful to someone, whatever it is. Okay, what can I do today? And move forward. The steps, I don't think there's anyone that shouldn't go through the steps.
Right?
Well, Saddleback Church came out with the whole Celebrate Recovery. I don't know if you heard it. And I mean, it's kind of like everybody has hurts, habits, and hang-ups, but it's based off of the 12 steps. Have you heard of that? Have you seen any of that? I don't know.
I was a part of the original leadership.
Were you really?
So I got super plugged in. When I went to Dallas, I was going to meetings. I don't do anything halfway usually.
Yeah.
So
You don't see, like, even from a young guy, you're like, I'm going all in.
I started the huge young people's meeting in Dallas. And just started sponsoring tons of guys. And then I started these with Chico West out in Dallas. He was the SMU counselor, and then we started these sober living homes.
Okay.
And started working with treatment centers all across the country. Right. And they would get out of rehab and come to our sober living homes. And so I was constantly working with guys, always. And if there's anything that has not only just kept me sober, but kept me growing, is working with others. Yeah. It's the best part of everything. If you've missed step 12, you've missed it all. And
giving it back, right?
Oh yeah. And so during that time, I was also going to church and plugged in and reading the Bible in a whole different fashion than I had before. Even when it ended up going to seminary at one point and get my master's in counseling and all that. But
where'd you go?
Criswell, and some at DTS too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people at DTS. So
yeah, I'm still recovering from seminary.
They're good folk there, but there's you can get
culture is
it can be tough. Yeah.
So like through that, but I always like coded too. So like I had this tech side of me. That I always did
coded
tech stuff.
Yeah. That's what I did out of college.
Yeah. I just really enjoyed
the analytical side of things. It's like a puzzle, right? You're figuring it out.
It is. Yeah. It's if you're naturally a creative, it's like it's your paintbrush, so to speak. And so it was I'd always done that. Which after the time I got burnt out, and I was counseling so much, and I was working with families, doing group counseling. I was, at the time when I was getting my master's, I was actually teaching a master's class at the same time. And so it got to a point where I said, man, I mean, I need to do like some other stuff outside of this. And I had started helping this company as consulting and ended up building them a software. It was a manufacturing company. And then decided, my wife was pregnant with number one at the time, and I was like, hey, I'm going to leave my secure job and start this startup. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to make it happen. And I mean, God bless her. She was like, okay, I'm leaving my job too. And so it's and we were broke for like 4 years, but just hustled and hustled and hustled. And then
that's all. I mean, yes, entrepreneurs, some of them you can go 10 before you start getting some real food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a whole other journey.
Yeah, that is a journey. I mean, so you walked out of that AA world and counseling world. You didn't. You're still going to meetings, I'm sure, and doing your stuff for your own work. You just kind of took a back burner on all the counseling you were doing.
Yeah.
Where did you get your undergrad, by the way?
Again.
Did you get your undergrad?
Yeah, I got my undergrad in business management systems. Like,
where's that at?
Minor in computer science. It's UTD.
Okay. Yeah, and which is, by the way, pretty
you could ever go to.
Pretty cool that you a kid that really didn't even think you were going to graduate high school.
I know.
And we're talking about, as you're talking about it, you were coding. You went through college. I mean, this interaction you had in rehab changed your whole life. Everything. And the trajectory of your life.
Everything. Changed everything. So, I mean, I feel like I'm so far in the bonus round. I mean, I shouldn't be alive, or I should be in jail. And yet, I mean, now I have multiple business, a great, I mean, incredible wife, incredible marriage, 4 beautiful kids. Live
that
here
never, that also
we live
never.
in paradise.
But the other thing is, your kids. You got all of this resolved before your kids were to see some sort of you think about generational sin that you can pass down.
Yeah,
that's clean.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
so my boy, I look, I understand why you do that.
you still gonna mess up. Trust me. I got kids 21, 19, and 17. I told them all, and I do. I said, I'll pay for your counseling sessions when you start out, and if you need me to come and apologize, I will. Because I did the best I could at time to time. But so you're still going to have problems. But I mean, I like my friend Jason that I was telling you about, Fowler. He when he got sober, his son was, I feel like 4.
Yeah.
And he was so thankful that there's probably some memories he had, but there was also there's a large developmental portion to his son where he was a dad to him.
Yeah, for sure.
And a sober dad to him. And Maddox is a videographer in, I don't know if you may have met Maddox one time with me, but Maddox, Jason's son's a videographer in Nashville now, just crushing it. Does all the Brandon Lake stuff.
Has it been that long?
He's like 20. He's like 23 or 24, and doing all the Christian music videos like that you would see today.
Yeah.
Maddox probably has his hand in it. It's unbelievable. He's a really cool kid and a cool cat. But in large part, he had great direction because his dad got sober.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, your kids didn't even have to experience a dad that wasn't that way. So what a gift to get that corrected before then.
100%, man. I can't even imagine much less using, but not having all that experience before, because I had to grow up at 18, really.
Yeah.
And man, I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah.
In fact, I think one of the worst things that can happen is nothing happen. And you continue not having very many consequences, and yet another year goes by, and you're not living in freedom. You're not living how God, what God has for you. Mm-hmm. And then now you have all these wasted years that nothing really happened.
Yeah,
you weren't really even living.
Yeah.
That precious gift of time is wasted.
Dude, I think that's when I read stuff in scripture like "Awake, O sleeper," it's always like "Wake up."
Yeah.
I won't go into Matrix stuff about that, but it was pretty.
Yeah, no, it's good. I love that. That's your favorite movie. That's so good. When you're counseling
a bunch with.
There's a lot of Bible in the Matrix.
The Matrix has a lot of scripture to it for sure.
You read Mark.
Yeah. So when you're counseling, obviously you were doing some counseling. You got involved in these computer businesses and coding, and that business world obviously took off for you and allowed you to have the ability to have this lifestyle here in Great Beach and to raise a family out here. But I know you I know it's like anonymous. It's alcohol anonymous, narcotic anonymous, NA. You know, you've got all these SA you have, but it's all anonymous unless somebody tells you. But I'll run into somebody. You know, people tell me the story, whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, no, my sponsor. You know, and I'm like, it's like 2 and 2. You sponsor like a lot of guys down here. I guess. Well, it's supposed to be anonymous. There's a lot of folks that would consider you're their sponsor that I run into, and they're like, you've got to talk to David. You got to meet David. You got to meet David. Yeah. And so. And we've had the chance, like I said, to sit down on your show, and I'm so thankful that you're here on ours. But what is some of the most rewarding kind of and challenging things about being a sponsor in AA?
It's the best. It's the best. I mean, so most guys that you sponsor don't get it. I mean, most of them don't necessarily want it. They want it for that. They want the consequences to stop. They don't want their life to change, or they don't want to do any work around it. So you can't take credits for the guys that do awesome and change. You can't take the losses either. So you know, it's
that's
up
a good way
to
to
them.
think about it.
So you really, you know, the guys that really want it, I mean, they're going to show you pretty quick. Hey, I'll do what it takes. And so to guide them and take them through the steps is incredible. I mean, you get to see guys. I mean, so many guys. You've had at least one of them that I sponsor here on the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to watch him specifically grow. I mean, he's grown into a man since I've seen him. You know? And
what's the hard thing, and I know you're talking about, the hard thing too is about him is that it doesn't discount everything he did before he finally found sobriety, right?
Correct.
But it also shines a light on what he's capable of doing.
I think his story is one of the most impactful because there's a lot of people that are living through exactly what he's doing, where they're hiding a bunch of secret sin.
Sure.
And they're in the church, and so they're playing church.
Sure.
Yet there's they're cut off in a sense.
Yeah.
Not from salvation. I'm just saying that they're not growing spiritually, but they're doing all the external stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to, in most guys it's porn.
Yeah.
Most guys. And that's why I really in the last couple of years been helping guys start up like Pure Desire stuff in meetings. We have a big conference coming up here in October. But I mean, dude, so many guys in the church, they're looking at porn and women now too.
Yeah. But it is prevalent in the guys, and what guys don't realize too, and it's a hard thing to come to terms with as a guy, but is that if we didn't watch it, we could shut down an entire industry.
That's right.
You know, we could shut down an entire industry that abuses women.
Yeah.
But we're the consumers, and so when we consume it, there's a demand, and then there's people there, and you don't know if that person behind there. First off, I don't know how many women, you know, say this is what I grew up and I want to be, but we've developed something that gives that avenue, and it's usually abused by somebody to get to that point.
For sure.
Yeah.
And if you ever been in a Bible study with guys, like, okay, we're gonna, you know, how are you doing? What's going on with you? They're trying to dig, and everyone's like, man, you know, I'm doing all right. Like, they have to. They'll say something that, okay, I'm kind of struggling with, you know, teaching my son this or whatever, and then finally one guy is like, dude, I've been looking at porn like crazy, I can't stop, and then everyone else is like, yeah, me too, and like, and it wouldn't happen if that guy didn't lead and say, hey,
Yeah, one guy.
Yeah.
I think one of the most impactful things are people's stories, right? And people's stories, when they share from themselves, it invites other people to open up and be really honest.
And be vulnerable. Yeah.
Revelation says
that's hard with guys.
Revelation says we're saved by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Obviously, Jesus saves us.
Yeah.
But that testimony is so powerful because we see. That's what I love doing the podcast. That's why I love hearing your testimony. Is that you see the impact that Jesus can have on a life, and it tells you that I am not alone, and Jesus could have that same impact on me.
Yeah.
You know, one of the largest churches in our nation, North Point Church and Andy Stanley, they do a heavy production for their baptisms. So when somebody gets baptized in their group, they go in like film crew, and you come in and you tell your story, and they edit it to it's like a 3-minute deal.
Yeah.
So they put a lot of funds behind telling this story, but they flash this 2-3 minute story up, and then boom, there's the baptismal pool of this person getting baptized. Why? Because that testimony is so powerful. This is why I decided to choose Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's powerful.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, well, guys, like you think about that, and it's really why I started our podcast too.
Yeah.
Was, hey, this is going to be another platform,
Sure.
that will exist outside me and will help others. But you think about those reels and all the time you put into. I mean, there's a lot that goes into all this,
Yeah.
and when you're cranking out those reels daily, and they're people's stories, and some guy, it hits them, and they're like, dude, that's me, and if it ends there, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, you have to get in front. You got to get plugged into a community of guys, and you got to tell other guys those secrets. You got to get that stuff out there. It doesn't have to be the church, the whole church.
I've been in men's groups here. What's weird, coming from the north, coming from Indiana, we had small groups, but it was more like couples. But since moving down here to the Panhandle, I see it's a different culture amongst guys to want to be better. And not that it's not that up in Indiana, but it's just this want to be better fathers, want to be better dads, and just want to be better. And it's a culture down here that I've seen that's kind of neat. That I don't know if it's like that in West Texas, but I didn't see a lot of men's groups. And no, West Texas versus here.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just I don't know, but I just never see anything like it down here. If you want to be a men's group, there's one every Tuesday night somewhere around here.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of neat hearing from guys and like, oh my gosh, that's how you did better with your kids that way. That's
but
cool.
I've grown up in men's groups too, where
I never had that.
But it's like unspoken, right? It feels like that. What was that guy that Forrest? When it's like it's taken, it's like unspoken. That's like the number one thing in a Baptist church is unspoken prayer requests. James, who the brother of Jesus, which I always find, by the way, I mean, side note, everybody listening, if someone were to tell me that my brother was the savior of the world, I've seen this knucklehead and I know what he's about, and I never believed him. So the fact that James, the brother of Jesus, came to acknowledge that his brother was the savior of the world, like, go read that book. Check out James. Literally could take you 15 minutes to read it. It's so good. And put it in the context that this is like the brother of Jesus. Says, confess your sins to one another so you may be healed.
Yeah.
And it is a freeing point when there's people that know everything about you.
Yeah.
And love you anyway.
Yeah.
There is a freeness to that, for sure.
Because the truth is, no one really cared, right? If all three of you guys were like, oh, man, I looked at porn. Okay, I don't care that you did. What I care about is you getting free and being able to share that, and what happens to you internally when you do. It's not just porn. I think porn is probably one of the main things, but having like that clear consciousness, and I think a lot of it is, man, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, like get over, oh man, I'm so scared. What will people think? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, what they already think. I mean, people know when people are genuine.
Yeah.
And when you sense people that are genuine, man, those are the guys I want to be around. Those are the guys I want to emulate. Those are, I want that to be my crew. And I think also is when you lead with your struggles, and this is one of the good things about AA, when you lead with your struggles, those are the things. It's almost like sandpaper. If you're just like clean and you're doing great all the time and no issues, no struggles, there's nothing to stick to. And so your relationships with others, like, I'm like more like sandpaper, right? Like,
yeah.
Like
it's a good analogy.
Stick to, because I'm always sharing, like, I struggle so much currently, not previously.
Sure.
Not, oh, I did and now I got over this. Yes, I'm been free and clean and sober for the last 24 years, but I am very much, I still struggle with shame to this day. Like I'll be one of the guys I sponsor. I think it's really helpful as a sponsor as well to share your current struggles with your guys, because sometimes they'll put you on a pedestal and think, okay, he's the one always guiding me and he's good. Right. And I was sharing with one of my guys just yesterday, day before, of man, do you know when I go into some business meetings, when I go about my day, most of the time in the background I have shame messages. They're saying, okay, you're not good enough. You're dumb.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Dude, I have like all sorts of stuff that's, what are you doing, Dave? Like, you don't even. Yeah, I'll have.
You don't even
those
belong
voices
here.
happening. Yes,
Yeah.
it's like background windows. You know, there's so many applications open back there, and I'm like, man, I have to know that, man. I don't trust my brain, but like, still, I think it's helpful going, man. I don't know all the solutions for it. Man, there's still so much for me to learn, and I still struggle with that.
That's so good. I mean, I can't tell you how many podcasts I've done, and we get done, and I'll look at my wife, and I was like, "That's never going to air." Like I said, somebody said this. I can't believe I'm still doing this. Like nobody's listening to this anymore. Why did we talk about it? Why did I say that? I should have said this. I mean, did I offend somebody? Did I not offend somebody? You know, it's constantly running through my head, and I do the same thing, and I struggle with those. You know, do I even belong all the time?
Yeah.
I thought that was just me.
I think we all can. I think we all can. Well, and you know, self-awareness. I've said this before. If I ever write a book, self-awareness might be chapter 1. Because, but I know people in recovery seem to be some of them, especially if they're actively working it, seem to be some of the most self-aware.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly trying to clean out, what can I fix? What can I do better? How can I interact with this world better? And I don't want to be like that anymore.
Yeah, I wish the church led with that more. Like AA meetings to me almost seemed like closer to the model of how the church probably should be than how church is.
I can
It's
see
not
that.
cleaning up and going
Oh, yeah.
on a Sunday.
I can see
like at AA meetings, you're not there because you're on a winning streak. You know?
Right.
You know,
I get that.
Drinking,
Right.
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
You're not
Right.
killing it at everything. It's.
I'm winning at everything, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. You're looking for help and get better.
I had a pastor one time tell me that if he had to set up a new church, he would set it up with Celebrate Recovery. That's how he would set it up there. But again, I know there's problems even in that. I mean, AA seems to be your go-to. Are there other programs? If somebody's struggling, you know, what should they do?
Yeah, I mean, I think here's my thought. I mean, the answer is Jesus, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's not a church, it's not a program, it's not a.
Right.
Now, what that can look like for different people can look differently. I like one certain than others. When I went through in I think it was like 2010 or something like that. I went through those initial trainings at Saddleback.
Oh, did you? Okay,
with,
so you went
know
up.
the
You
Village
went.
Church.
Where's that?
Village Church, Matt Chandler.
Oh yeah, Matt Chandler. Yeah. So you were working with Matt Chandler there.
Yeah,
Okay.
so-
Yeah. That right in like Irvine. No, or Fellow Mound or Flower Mound.
Yeah, it's close to Flower Mound.
Yeah.
Highland
yeah.
Village.
Yeah, I've got some family that's all at IBC. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually went to there. It was like his third Sunday or something like that when he had just come on as pastor. It was incredible.
Yep.
But I went with that group up there to get trained on it and helped write some of recovery
He's Reformed,
stuff.
right? Is he Reformed theory?
so.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
so.
Acts
Yeah,
21.
theology. Yeah.
But I like their program, the Recovery at the Villages, a lot more than Celebrate Recovery. I feel like what Celebrate Recovery tried to do, and man, I could be completely wrong on this.
Yeah.
But it was almost like they tried to take the Bible and put it into the 12 steps, you know, and I'm like...
Well, the 12 steps were created off the Bible. They were biblically created.
Yeah, well, so they loosely, so it was the Oxford group.
Right.
Right, and back then they called them the Booze Hounds, this little crew, a section of the Oxford group, and they had their 6 tenants, and it was Ebby Thatcher and those guys, and Ebby Thatcher played a big role in Bill Wilson's life.
Bill, yeah.
Bill W. is the guy who wrote most of the first 164 of the big book. But so they're loosely off that. But when you try and anything that tries to take God and put him into some like
Little
like,
box.
man,
Yeah, it's not
you
gonna
don't
work.
box in God. Like God's gonna
Yeah.
do
Right.
whatever He does,
He wants
however
to
He
do it.
wants to do it, and it's gonna be exactly what was needed. And so I like recoveries more because it's really Recovery at the Village is more just the gospel. It's structured really well. But
I know sometimes it can be tough too.
people get man, they get saved and they get reformed off anything, man.
100%.
So
yeah,
like,
Jesus can use
God
anything.
God uses Celebrate Recovery. And,
100%. I mean, even if a church is biblically wrong, Jesus is still Jesus.
Yeah.
And lives can be changed. Two things can be true. You know, so two things can be true. Wow. And so you've got to know that. I do know that sometimes and listen, I have a lot of friends that do Celebrate Recovery, and I know people that worked all the way through it at their conferences and all that. And I tend to love all those people. But I know that the one challenge I've had and the one feedback I got is where you would get the guy that might be like on hardcore heroin addiction next to somebody who is like, you know, I'm trying to recover from codependency because I give my spouse, you know, too much chocolate or something, you know, and it's like we all need recovery, but it's sometimes like not that helter-skelter story. He doesn't need to hear that, you know, and so that's the one rub I've heard before, but
for sure. Yeah. Hardcore heroin addict, man, that's
a different world, huh?
Yeah, there's some differences, man. There's some differences in the guy that's, codependency or something like that.
Yeah.
Or struggling with quote unquote pride.
All tough. And you need to recover from it. We need to work through it. And anything you're working on, work it. I'm in. Yeah. But it can be like I was living on like 8th Avenue under a cardboard box before I found this place, you know, and that can be tough. That can be tough. And it can build resentment to like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah. What I like about just the original steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not associated with religion.
Right. Well, they wanted it that way so that it'd be everybody, right?
Correct. Yeah. And the way they put it is your own conception of God, which, to be honest, I love because my conception of Jesus has changed, continues to change, hopefully growing more accurate, you know, and bigger. But it changes over the years. And what I like about it separates all the Christian culture. You know, I think one of the hardest things is Christian culture. And so this Christian culture is really anti-gospel. It is, hey, let me look good. I'm going to perform, you know, and it's like, okay, then you don't need Jesus. Like,
you good.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I need him.
Yeah.
And in AA, it separates all that stuff and it really focuses on first steps. Hey, you got a problem and you're screwed. Like, you keep trying to quit, you can't quit. You got a mind that tells you to keep doing it. You got a body that is allergic to it. I used to say I was allergic to alcohol. I'd break out in handcuffs. Like,
that'd be a good commercial, like for some sort of advertising. I don't know.
Your teenage years sound pretty rough, bro. I mean, seriously.
It's wild.
I mean, it really does. I mean, you weren't like, you're in West Texas, which I get it. It's not a lot going on. But it wasn't like you're in the inner city and I can get into this and I can get into this.
Probably been worse.
Like, you invented stuff to get into.
Yeah, I know. This is bad.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's a whirlwind. But
you've changed so much.
Yeah, for sure. And the steps were really structural, impactful. It's still to this day. There's parts of the big book that the big book is just so, hey.
And I don't know what the big book is.
It's the 12 steps. That's
okay,
where they're originally written. And so it's like, hey, you got a problem, you can't quit. You know, you got a mind that tells you to keep doing it. You got and that this time's going to be different, stuff like that. And then step 2 is like, hey, you know, come to this surrender. And then 3, you're making this decision and saying, okay, from here on out, God is going to be the director. I'm taking a positional change. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to actually rely on God. How do I do that? Well, I go into 4 through 9. It's basically cleaning up me, cleaning up all my resentments, my sex, my fears, looking at me and going, hey, I play God. I want to be God. That's my problem, is I want to be God of my life. I want to be the actor trying to run the show, an actor trying to be a director. And then when you get to step 9 and making amends for all this, then you get into 10, 11, 12, which is this dependence on him. That is going, okay, I wake up in the morning, I do my 86 through 88, which is on awakening, think about the 24 hours ahead. I consider my plans for the day, ask God to direct me because he's my director. You know, it's so practical.
That's so good.
But getting back to the other point, David.
That's so good.
The church needs to adopt the same kind of principles and teach folks, because I think that's very good for everybody's day.
Sure.
Like, let me think about the day instead of, let me grab my phone. How many emails do I got to get to?
Yeah.
What's going on right now?
Yeah.
Am I going to be late before I get out the door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good.
That's really good.
Or what I've fallen into for years when I don't do that is, okay, I need to do a morning meditation. So, you know, I got 4 kids. So I'm like, get in the car, pack them all in, get them to school, and then I get to my office and I'm like, okay, sit down, do a morning meditation. But then I'll just hodgepodge things together. And that's better than no morning meditation.
Right.
But when I have this foundational where I stop, I pause, I go, okay, for today, I want to ask you, God. It's just very, it's very purposeful. I'm like, God, please direct my thinking today. Get me out of the way. I want what you want. I want my day to look like how. Use me however you want to today. Help me keep away from selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, or fear. When it comes, because it's going to come today, help me to direct my thinking back to you, to make amends if when I go, get in the car.
Yeah.
I have never done that before.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I get that feeling. You see it coming in your mouth, you don't even mean it.
I know. Honestly, I hate going anywhere with him. He's always that way to me. Like, get in the car,
JB. Get in the car.
Get in the car, JB.
You see him in line at Disney World, dude.
I know.
I don't wait in lines at Disney World. I go when they don't.
He's been banned from Disney World 3 times.
Have you?
What do you
Sure.
Here's the thing. No, I'm like the nicest.
That
dude
small
ever.
world ride, he does not do well with.
I don't like that ride. I puke at the teacup. He's
Actually, I've been
kidding.
to
I've
Disney.
never been thrown out. Mickey likes my money.
I've been to Disney a lot with him, and Brandon sees it as the most wonderful place on earth.
I don't. No,
he
come
does.
on. That's
He has a Mickey Mouse. He has a Mickey
that's-
Mouse low back tattoo.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I don't have any tattoos.
That's commitment.
It's a perfect time for me to tell you all about my friends over at True North Pest Control. True North Pest Control, they take care of all them critters. You got problems, they got solutions. Give them a buzz, truenorthpest.com. They are your superheroes, your pest control superheroes. Now back to the show. All right, so here we are. Where were we? We were just talking about...
I don't know where
it was
we
something
were.
funny.
12-step program.
12-step programs. How are we going to get through it? I mean, if somebody's on, they're holding on. Imagine if they're really holding on to their last rung, they're probably not jumping on and watching this podcast. But let's just say somebody sent them this clip that they're going to watch. They're holding on to the bottom rung. They don't know where to go. What would you tell them they need to do?
I think they know what they need to do. Most guys don't. It's not a question of like some specific knowledge. They know that they need to get help, and they know that, if they're somewhere that they don't know of any help, they know how to ask questions. I used to tell guys that when we get young guys into our treatment homes, I would tell the parents would be like, how's he going to get a job? He doesn't have a cell phone and no one's taking him to all these places and all this. I said, ma'am, if I dropped your son off in the middle of any downtown area and he wanted to get drugs, how long do you think it would take him to get drugs? And they say, he'd have drugs in 5 minutes, whether he had money or not. Like
right.
he would find a way.
Yeah.
It's like, man, when you get to that place where, man, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to ask everyone I know. I'm going to reach out to churches. I'm going to call hotlines. I'm going to find how to get help. And, you don't want to steal away people's ambition and as much as I struggle starting companies, and I worked like crazy, I'm so grateful for it because I made it happen.
Well, that struggle is part of doing it, right? And if you don't do it yourself, it's not going to be worth it.
Yeah.
And it's somewhat that same way as what I'm hearing in the sobriety. You've got to do the work. Nobody's going to do it for you. You show up to AA, you can show up to every class, but you don't do the first step, it ain't going to matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, get after it. And it's for some guys, sounds really bad, but for some guys, I'm like, keep going. Like get done.
I was going to ask you how many times you had to mentor somebody a second time or a third time, like they just...
For sure.
They come back, right? So even they might have already went through it once,
right,
and are kind of like thinking about it now.
Yeah,
and it's okay to get mentored again or whatever, right?
And I have a lot of honest conversations where we're like, man, you don't have to do this for me. Are you done?
Yeah,
right.
Keep using. If
right.
You want to keep using. I'm not going to stop you. No one's going to stop you.
You can't stop.
Yeah,
they're the only ones in control.
Stop wasting time. Stop wasting time in between this fence and either,
do it or
get
don't.
after it. I mean, yeah. And so that seems very like harsh or like, oh my gosh, like
no.
You give them permission to go use.
Get after it. You're gonna get
permission.
You're gonna get after it either way.
They're gonna do it no matter what.
Yeah.
They're gonna jump into it no matter what.
Yeah.
I've told the story of Sam before here, but when I did a church in downtown Atlanta, we had Sam who he was this addict that was homeless and on the street, and he'd find places to stay, and then not so much couch surf, but I guess shelters and things like that. I remember one time we were doing this concert around Christmas time. We called it The Night Hope Arrived. Rock the Cradle, The Night Hope Arrived, and we had a bunch of rock artists that would come in, collective soul guys, things like that, and we'd do a great free concert that we'd have rock music, but then we'd tell you about Jesus at some point during the concert. And Sam came in to one of these shows, and he also would heckle me from the stage when he would come on Sunday morning. So here's Sam the heckler, came in, pissed himself the night, really drunk, and he's like, Pastor, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, dude, I have no time for you. No time for you. I was completely in a world of setting it up, and I have no time with this lady that we loved in our church was helping, and she went and gave him a big hug, even though he's smelly and nasty, and she did the things that needed to be done and got him a cup of coffee and set him down with a donut and just said, man, I'll pray for you. And shortly thereafter, she came running to me and said, Sam's ready to go to rehab. And I said, how do you know? He goes, well, he gave me his dime bag of weed. and she goes, I don't even know what to do with it. And I said, well, you smoke it. I was, no. I said, we just throw it away. She goes, but my fingerprints are on it. And I said, nobody cares about your fingerprints on this dime bag of weed, So I've said that. But Sam's story didn't stop there. Sam, we got him into rehab. That was our hangout. That was the after party that night, was in the hospital as he detoxed, and Sam became like the house dad at this recovery place and all this stuff, and was great. And then I don't know, it's like a couple years in, I got a phone call. It's like he's getting kicked out. Yeah. And I got him into another place, and he got kicked out. I got him another place, and then I lost track of him, and then I got the call that Sam had died. Yep. And OD'd. And I mean, I imagine you have those stories of guys that just.
Oh yeah.
Did it make? Do you see it as a disease in part?
100%.
Yeah. So I mean, I know Sam's healed.
Think of even the word dis-ease. I mean, I started my story of saying, this, I felt out of place, this dis-ease, right? And what fixed that, immediately almost. It was alcohol wasn't my problem. Alcohol was my solution.
Yeah.
And so I do think I've seen that story over and over again, and people always love to like focus on the rock bottom piece,
Yeah.
And they think of like rock bottom, like there's a rock bottom, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's the last one.
Yeah. But there's I mean, it's really getting to a place that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get recovered and get in recovery of some sort. But also I find like the more that I do things for guys that they should do for themselves, we don't use the word enabling, we use the word disabling. I'm disabling him from doing it for himself. I do this with my kids all the time, right? Like
we all do it as parents. We do it. We'll solve it for them, but we're stealing their confidence.
I just want the living room clean. And
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Mess, and I'm like, I should be making them clean up their mess because they're not getting that lesson. I do it. I'm not saying this from a position that I got it down.
Right.
From a position that I don't have it down at all. But I know the principle behind it is like when a guy can do it for himself, man, it's so much more impactful. Now, how do I help in that way? I rarely give them money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because rarely is it a money issue in that sense. Now, what I will do is sit down and help him line out his amends because he doesn't understand which amends he should do or not. And, and he doesn't understand how to even go about it.
Right.
Sure, I'll help. Right. Like, I'll guide him in it, but I'm not going to do it for him.
Yeah. And that's a different way. You're right. They've got to own it.
Yeah.
It has to be their own every step of the way, right?
Yeah. I mean, dude, this podcast wouldn't mean nearly as much to you guys if, I came in here and set it all up for you.
Sure.
You know, and I did everything for you. It's like, here's a podcast.
Right.
It's like,
but you got to do the work.
You had to, find the soundproofing, and you had to get the cameras, and you had to come up with, you made it happen. And so it's so much more impactful.
Well, and you still got to tweak it. Even as we do it, I've changed the format. We were talking about this a month ago. I was telling them about how I was watching our numbers, and I could see viewership fall off at a certain spot. And I was like, we need to change the format to hopefully get people to stay a little longer on the show and whatnot. Because so you've got to constantly be working it. And you can tell the person that tells you they recovered, and you can tell the person that hasn't put in the work.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can see that, right? The guy that's like, what do they call it? Like pink clouding, or is that white knuckling? I don't know. There's all these names in AA that you learn, right?
Yeah, pink cloud's like when you first get sober, and I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh, that's so great. White knuckling, or being a dry drunk.
Okay,
is where you take away my solution, which is alcohol or drugs, and I don't replace it with anything.
Yeah.
And so that's actually the worst.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a miserable person.
Yeah. That's what my dad did with cigarettes, man. He would go to quit, and like 2 days, 3 days in, I can remember being underage and going like, I'll drive to the daggum store and get you some cigarettes. I need you to stop yelling and screaming, man. You on edge, bro. I need to give you some nicotine.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it'd be tough. So incredible work in that world, and I know that's part of your story. But part of your story too is setting up your podcast so that you can do other things and share this story throughout it. You guys, you met Eddie Gallagher, who's your co-host on the podcast, y'all. Although there are moments I've seen your podcast, kind of like us, where he may be there and you may not, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But you call it Shoot Me Straight.
Yep.
I mean, how does your approach in recovery and your background kind of does that help you to have these raw and unfiltered conversations?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's good. Hey, that was ChatGPT.
Checks out.
So the podcast is, honestly, it's just been a passion. Like, neither one of us even get paid from it. In fact, it's been an expense.
You're not getting paid from your podcast?
It is. It's something that I bought this building 6 years ago-ish when we moved down here. And really, I was just running business meetings out of there and working from there, and started working out there, doing jiu-jitsu there. In this back room back there, I was like, man, I should, I was thinking about it. I'm like, what things scare me? Because I want to push into and grow into things that scare me. And one of them was, for sure, being on camera.
Right.
I cannot.
But you can't do a podcast today if it's not video. I mean, I think that's where it's headed, right?
It's tricky. Everything's headed to YouTube.
That's what I was going to say. Everything. Well, and I just saw the other day, Netflix is not letting YouTube's taking control of these podcast worlds. It really is headed that way. Yeah. But Netflix is now they just hired a podcast executive.
Oh, cool.
And so I think we're about to see a new era. I think podcast is going to blow up even more here. I think it's headed into the Netflix world.
I do. Yeah, I think the main ones will. There's a lot of people that do these little quick startup podcasts, and they're like, I'm going to be a podcaster. They start it up, but then they're not consistent. A year
it's a lot of work.
They're done.
That's like everything.
It's a lot of it's the work you put into it.
Yeah. It really is about the work you put it into it. You guys have done like 3.5 years, right?
3.5 years.
Yeah.
And then we started it. I decided that I was going to do it in, I think, January. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna start a podcast. She's like everything. She's like, okay, like she just knows I'm gonna do whatever I want anyway. So it's like I want to start this on the side, and so we had our first guy come on. I think that's late summer, and I mean, it was horrible. It was GoPros, like just this white wall in this room, and there's people out in the lobby like playing around, there's kids and stuff like that. You can hear them. Mics were, but it was, I'm a firm believer in, I mean, now every company that I've started, I start it, automate, and then I automate myself out of it, and so that it can run without me. And so it was enough. I'm always testing. So like I'll test something, and this was like that test, and that test helped me go, dude, it's selfish, honestly.
Right.
I find people fascinating. People fascinate me.
Me
people
too.
and their stories.
I will listen to people's stories all day.
I love
Dude,
documentaries.
I learned so much from people's stories, and so I was like, dude, let's just make it about people and their stories. No political agenda, no like specific thing. Everything I was reading on podcasting then, because I was researching it a bunch, everything was like, that's a bad idea. You should focus on a niche.
Yeah, niche. Go into the niche market. That's what everybody will tell you to do. For sure.
And I understand it more now.
Yep.
But I just love people's stories. I'm like, nah, I think I just want to hear people's stories, and I want to hear all sorts of different people's stories. And so we started. Everyone has been in person. It's pretty crazy to think 135 or 136.
That's significant. We actually do some remote, so we'll do remote. It's just got to be the right person, the right situation. It's also taken me a lot of trial and error to figure out the remote. We've gotten better. Our last remote we did was probably one of my best ones we've done, but it took forever to figure out how to turn these cameras into webcams so that it would come across like clean audio and video.
Our boy Isaac will help you with
that. I need to check in with him.
He's legit. But when we started it, I mean, we've had NFL players, we've had a lot of special forces because of Eddie's background.
Sure.
We've had people with all sorts of different businesses and entrepreneurs. Then we've had some celebrities on there. But honestly, some of the best ones have been these sleepers. They're not necessarily, but they've had incredible stories.
Yeah. The stories where it's always at. I always tell, somebody asked me the other day, is like, how do you choose your guests? And I said, really, it starts with the story. I was like, the following is a bonus. Yeah. So if they got a name, great. But I said, I almost don't care. I'd much rather hear the human stories, like I loved Corey and Hillary Fosdick, who were amazing. I mean, they have this incredible adoption story, and they came on and told their adoption story, and I thought that was just amazing. And I mean, they're not active on social that much. Hillary's more active than Corey is. You know, I sent him a text and I was like, "Hey, here's what you do to help us beat the algorithm." He's like, "Yeah, I don't do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't even know what that is.
What's the algorithm?"
Right. It's like it's the Matrix.
Yeah, but you put that stuff out there, and you don't know who will get helped, right? And
that's right.
Who it'll hit.
That's right.
At first, it was like, okay, my goal is to bring people to listen to the whole podcast, but most people won't.
No, you get like 10 minutes, you're doing good.
Yeah, and so I've since gone, it's a different deal because I don't think of it as a business. In fact, I was even hesitant to get sponsors and start up.
Right,
Eddie was telling me, hey, we need to get sponsors for like a year before we did, because I was like, man, I don't want this to be a business. Like my other stuff is businesses.
Right.
This is fun. I want to just get incredible guests.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we've consistently getting more and more incredible guests now. I got a really cool one flying in this Thursday.
That's awesome.
It was on one of the first Real World. His really, really fun.
That's great.
Then we have some big names coming up, but even then, some of those I'm like, we've had a couple like more political ones that I'm like I'm not the biggest fan of
controversy. What's funny is you've literally tied up a podcast and said, I want it all to be about the stories. I want it all to be about the stories. I want it all to be about testimonies. I want it all to be about life change, that people can look at it and say life change, which we do. I like to believe we're trying to do some of that here, but it's like the worst strategy for a podcast, right? Like the niche is because you're finding your audience, right? So if it's all about fishing, then you find an audience that's about fishing.
All about crime stories.
Or you need to be really controversial.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that plays is controversy.
It's true.
You just look at me and I just scream controversy. I'm so divisive.
But it's not easy to keep it going that way, but that is what the good I think that's the good and hard work. I think it's meaningful.
Yeah, I think so too. And people that just want to see the flash in the pan, like they may not be the ones that are actually wanting to grow or change or have it impact them in some way. I mean, just flip through your reels and search Charlie Kirk and seeing all the reaction videos and all that stuff.
It's a tough
last week. It's like Man, I think what I didn't force, but I told Eddie, hey, you really should put out what he was thinking when we were talking, and he just did.
I saw it. It was good.
Telling parents of like, hey, think about your kids. Your kids are watching how you're responding to all this. Everyone, we have emotions, man. We're supposed to bring those to God, right? But have in the back of your mind, hey, my kid is watching how I respond to this. Because I have good friends that are like, go to war.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen
drawing the line. We're gonna kill, and it's like, who are you gonna kill, man?
Yeah. Like, what are we gonna do?
Who are we fighting? We're fighting
Like,
against.
We're fighting against principalities.
They're invincible.
Yeah, you're exactly right, brother.
And it's like, dude, your kids are seeing you respond to stuff like that, and they're gonna take their, as much as you like it or not, they're gonna take a lot of cues from you.
That's right.
Instead of maybe. I'm not saying that you don't go, man, dude, this was a hard week, and it really affected America and the world.
And rightfully so.
And it's, I don't know what, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm like,
hey, I saw somebody said that the September 12th of 2001 would not really have liked the September 10th of this year. Because we were so, like, the country kind of came together.
We were coming together.
Yeah.
And we're so divided.
Yeah, it's kind of.
And we've got to have. We did a pod not too long ago, and it was somewhat controversial in the church space. I had these guys on that did a 7-part docuseries on like exposing kind of scam artists in the church and some of the bad stuff that happens inside the church. It's a great docuseries called The Religion Business. Great docuseries. And so some of the comments on our reels would get people saying, no, I didn't like this, or yes, I did. Yeah. But I had one where I responded back, and we had this discourse of 3 or 4 things. And I remember at the end of it, I said, look here, 2 believers having some discourse online and it all being okay.
That's right.
We can all love each other and do this in love and go back and forth and not like vilify one side or another.
Yeah. And not have to agree on it.
Right. No.
Yeah, if it resorts to name calling or violence, you lost.
Yeah, that's a good call.
It's over.
Holy cow, Juice.
Say that again.
True.
Yeah, that was good.
If you resort to name calling or violence, you've lost argument.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
I met Charlie Kirk about a month ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How was he in person?
Man, he was super nice, super respectful. He was really busy, and like, man, we were only there with him for about half a day.
Yeah.
But and tall, dude. The dude was like 6'5" or something.
Really?
Wow. So I didn't know that.
I didn't know you were so tall.
Yeah.
But great dude. I mean, you can just tell, like, really genuine, really, really, probably autistic, but like really, really, really.
Oh, you got
smart.
the ability
And
to debate
was a
well.
hustler. He was just putting out content.
The work, right? He put a lot of work.
Yeah, he had a lot of content, hustle, but that ability to recall and have debate and say the thing you want to say it at the moment you want to say it. I don't care which side of the argument you are. I can't, like, I have that. If I get into something where I want to like debate somebody, I'm usually like an hour or 2 after the debate going, oh, that's so good.
That's how I am. I think about it later. In the shower, like, damn it, I should have said
that. Right. Yeah. I should have come back with this.
Right. He's got really good.
Yeah.
Really good memory.
No, my wife's she's a trained debater. I mean, she went to law school, but I mean, trained arguer, I should say. And I get into it, and she has great recall, and she says the right thing at the right moment, and I'm like,
hold on, give me 30 minutes.
Yeah. Let's come back to this moment.
Yeah. He seemed like a super genuine dude. I didn't know him. Like, I didn't really know him at all. But like, I do think that not everyone has to put stuff out about it. Like, you don't have to.
Oh yeah.
It's not like people are waiting around going, I'm waiting for Dave's response on Charlie.
What's he going to say?
No.
And it's almost like an addiction where people will come. When someone dies,
It's a train ride.
pretty soon everyone's
it's a train
like,
ride,
oh man, like, we were so close, and it's like, no, you weren't. Like, I for sure know you weren't.
It's a train ride.
Stop
for
trying
sure.
to make it about
clout.
you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you're just trying to ride the next TikTok trend. Just happened to be Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's but I am surprised of how huge a response, like.
Well,
Yeah,
I think because it was visible
Internationally.
everybody saw it.
I saw some of that internationally, just like, but a lot of people praying there's not a lot of violence. It's a lot of praying and
hopefully
praying for other people.
That's what I've seen.
That's what I've seen. It's been early.
Look, if we can anything that we can use to get back to Jesus, I think is super important. And I also hear folks that say, like, we need to be bold in our faith and all this. But one of my favorite guys ever quotes, and it's attributed to Francis of Assisi, is preach the gospel often and use words when necessary. And so if you're out there listening and you feel confused and you're not sure how to like get into this thing, I do think like that 12th step of doing for others before yourself is so important. Yeah. And so lean into that. If you're not sure, like, how do I want to share my faith? You don't have to be vocal. Don't pick up your phone and have to tell people about Jesus on Instagram. If you do it, that's great. Go get you a t-shirt. That's cool too. But I would tell you it'd be more impactful if you feed somebody.
Hey,
love on somebody.
A good point with that is, and you being entrepreneurial will understand this. If, like before you had success and like all the lessons and the character building and all that stuff got you to a place that, as you got more successful, you're like, okay, I can handle this. If think about trying to go to someone and go, and I've done this. Okay, if I gave you $10 million right now, what would you do with it? And they have no clue what they would do with it to
it's the lottery winner. They all blow
or do this business or even personally. Yeah. But like you have to constantly, your main focus is always going to be, how do I grow me to a place that I can handle and be more impactful? And you can't, if you're focusing on other people and looks and outside, like you're not ready for that next step because God, you haven't allowed God to grow you there so that you're the man to be there. Like if you gave me any of the success that I had previously, it would have overwhelmed. Like I wouldn't have known what to do. I had to get to that place and grow. Even spiritually, I had to grow to a place that I could handle having success in business and what to do with it and how to give. And it's similar to, if you're not giving when you're poor, you're not going to give when you're rich.
It's a lot. You're right.
You have to be the man to be able to handle that. And I think, like, my focus always has to be on letting God really grow me. And before I'm looking externally to other people and judging them and dissecting them, I need to be going, okay, am I clean? Am I honest? Am I sharing my stuff? Am I looking at the thing that I don't want to look at?
That's a great point.
We were just talking, my wife and I were talking.
Great point.
Earlier today, like pointing something out to her. And
something she did wrong.
Kind of, it was just tongue in cheek, but
that never goes well.
No, you're missing my point. You're missing my point, Jason. Hold on. So you pointing a finger at somebody, it's really 4 fingers pointing right back at you. You got to check yourself before you start pointing out what's wrong with somebody else.
Who said that? Was it Snoop Dogg? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Was that Snoop?
I think it was a plank in someone else's eye versus a tree in your own.
Oh yeah. That might have been old school. We're going a couple thousand years back there, baby.
Nothing new under the sun. It's all been done.
That's
it's just
exactly
like we just keep repeating the same mistakes as humans.
Yeah. David, what do you see next for your podcast? I mean, you got some great guests coming in. You've leveled up on some sponsorships. I mean, what's kind of on the horizon? For your folks, and what do you want to see next out of your podcast?
I want me to grow as a podcast host. I feel like I have so much area to grow there.
Sure.
I think it is one of the areas I feel most incompetent in my life, to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard. He makes it look easy. It's got to be challenging.
Come on, quit.
I mean,
it's not.
Been a
it is
public
hard.
Speaker for a long time. Like I feel like starting out,
it helps.
Got to be challenging.
I have the gift of gab for sure.
Yeah, but like coming in like you did, it's be a little daunting.
I see a little bit of growth from like first season, but even then, I just said like I shouldn't say lie.
No,
that
drives me
By the way,
crazy.
I thought you did great. I've been on several podcasts myself, and I thought you did a great job when you were interviewing me.
I have to watch it now.
I think. Well, he hasn't put it out yet.
Okay.
Well, it might be by now. It'll probably be out. But I think
next week.
I think. Oh, awesome! I think I cried even on it. He got me crying.
Nice.
Man. He
Normally
teared me up.
Cries on this one every
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
I
haven't
don't
gotten
know
there
how
yet.
You're gonna do that.
Yeah, I'll break the
trickle into
onions
it.
out next.
Yeah, I think that was probably be my number one, to be honest, is
Great answer, by the way.
growth in me in doing it to be a better host. We're good about listening. I feel like me and Eddie are really good at. We want it to be about the guest, but better speaker, better at drawing out that stuff with them, and then also, I've lost kind of the allure of these numbers and subscribers and stuff like that.
Right.
I do think that's important and to continue growing that, but I'm more concerned with getting incredible guests.
Well, I think that helps. That'll come along. That'll come. Right. So I think that also helps if you're getting content matters, and if you just can hopefully improve the content. Honestly, you coming on the show, I think helps improve our show. I told you though that a collaboration I think is really key. I mean, in this artistic world, those that collaborate win because like what is it? The tide rises all boats.
All boats. Yeah. Everybody wants to. No, we can't go on there because they see us competitors.
Right. It's not a competition. We're both trying to get out good stories, and it's good to put good out in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of bad, a lot of negative. We've kind of covered that a little bit, but a lot of bad. So
I was excited when I found out about yours because I was like,
come on, man.
I'm not the only one on the Panhandle that has a podcast.
There's actually more of them out there than you know on the Panhandle.
Oh, cool.
We just don't know of them all. So they're not hitting. All of you out there, we love you and you're doing your thing. But there are more. Like when I started figuring out, I was like, oh my gosh, there are actually a few more there. So.
There's not a lot of locations to film at though.
No.
Right? There's no studios really set up.
Well, I'm kind of the worst too because I'm so selective of what like my time is just so limited. So if I'm going to work with somebody, I've got to really desire to be there. So I apologize for those that I don't work with, but
if they need a studio, like if you got a podcast on the Panhandle, come on.
That's right.
You can use my studio.
Yeah.
Like we'll help collaborate.
Figure it out. It's always good to do that. It's always
30 employees.
He's got Rumble. I mean, he's got 30 employees over there. Yeah. Hey, so man, first off, David, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on and hear your story and your testimony, and I love that when it boils down to you needed Jesus, and I love how the transformation you saw is. I mean, the trajectory of your life was changed because of an encounter with our Savior, and I think that's so awesome.
Yes.
So I think this story has so many legs, and I'm so glad to be able to get that out there. But I do want to have one question I've been asking almost everybody this season. There's been a couple of times I've forgotten to ask this question. Okay. But last question I'm asking, and so here it comes. But if you could go back and tell your 25-year-old self anything, knowing what you know now, you could go back in time and tell your 25-year-old self anything, what would you tell him?
I got to think of where I was at 25.
About 10 years ago.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago.
16. What would I tell him? I would tell him... I would probably tell him to get out of his own head and to take more risk. To be honest, I tell him to take more risk. It's funny when you're
young, that's the time to do it, right?
Yeah, and when you step out and start, especially knowing me, it's just I've been entrepreneurial since I was selling porn to Christian kids in school. Like,
so you've been
good night. I've never even heard that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a reel.
Yeah.
What a hustle.
I had to make amends to them too, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That should have been filmed.
Yeah. But I would probably say stop waiting, because there was a lot of periods of time that I postponed starting business because I would say it was for, I'd say it was wise or trying to be wise about something or wisdom.
Yeah.
But that's BS. It was fear. It's fear disguised as that. And so I was just fearful. And to be honest, that you don't need anything to start chasing your dreams, like a computer, the internet. Like, you don't need some, if you want to start learning something. We had one of our first guests that we had on, was a guy that came from Colombia when he was 15 years old, could not speak English. And he would work with his parents on the weekends, cleaning a bunch of 38 homes, and that's how they ate. They would eat the leftovers
in the fridges.
In the fridges, and he hustled and ended up. Now he runs a huge international, real estate development company. He taught himself online how to build houses.
Come on,
Those
are the best entrepreneurs, man.
Yeah,
when you bootstrap that sucker.
He had to in order to build his first house, he had to go get a contract with a prison that was near there to use their workers that were at a certain level.
Program,
so that they could pour concrete, and he would be able to do it to make budget. So like, man, the will is so powerful, and especially with your dreams. If at 25, I was so much more hesitant to chase my dreams, and so I'm grateful because it was 5 more years, and I said, screw it, I'm going for it. But
when you said that, what comes to my mind is Danielle's dad, and then her grandfather prior to her dad would say, those who hesitate are lost. And that was their thing they used to say. But right on with that advice. It's so good. So this is the part I like to say. Listen up, kids. So big thanks to David Fields for sharing his powerful story with us today. His journey proves that even in the darkest moments, there's hope, faith, and a path forward. Be sure to check out his podcast, Shoot Me Straight. And as always, subscribe to What the Hell Do I Know for more inspiring stories to remind us we're all figuring it out together. Or not. What the hell do I know?
What the hell do I know? I'm just JB, middle-aged dad with ADD. Candid combos, jokes so lame, Jabronis pulling a poker face. Just a couple of dudes with ADD. What the hell do I know? With JB.